Time for another B-rated horror movie review. This time we're talking about Popeye's Revenge. I'm a big fan of the B-rated horror movies. I do. I don't want sometimes the big budget and the refinement of the bigger studios. Having that lack of refinement and doing what you can with a lower budget, it's more interesting to me sometimes. And they come up with more interesting plots. So this kind of stuff's right up my alley. This one's brought to us by ITN Studios, who also brought us Winnie the Pooh Blood Money 2, Cinderella's Curse, and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, along with a lot of others. But that's the kind of movie you're looking at here. Now, Popeye's Revenge is definitely a twist on the cartoon or comic book that you're used to seeing. He's not the hero here. He was treated badly as a kid because of his giant forearms and his freakishly strong nature. And the kids didn't want to play with him. They teased him, and a big mob happened to form at his house one day, burned the place down, killed him and his family, and now he is back for revenge. Anytime the fog comes in from the lake, he comes in with the fog and kills everybody in the lake area. That's where things get very, very familiar, because you can definitely see a lot of Friday the 13th in this, especially with the lake scenes and the fog and the woods and the camp counselors and things like that. There's a lot going on there that I'm just like, they pulled that right out of Friday the 13th. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I am perfectly fine with pulling things from other movies. I like the look of Popeye here. This was played by Stephen Murphy. He's a big, burly, bulky guy. And the way they did his makeup and the big forearms, really, really good. I liked it. He doesn't really have a lot of talking roles here. It's a lot of moans and groans and grunts, and that's totally fine too. And he uses a lot of that size and strength to kill his victims, and crushing skulls or breaking limbs or doing whatever he does. He definitely puts that historical Popeye strength to use. He also has a massive boat anchor he lugs around and uses that for a lot of kill scenes, which I think was really cool. He uses it in some predictable ways and yet some interesting ways. So I like where they went with this. It's a very bloody movie. It's a very gory movie, but it's also a very self-aware movie. It knows it's trying to be a little bit on the comical side. It's like dark humor. So you see Popeye and you're kind of like half laughing. There also is Olive Oil in here, played by Kelly Ryan Sanson, who plays the crazy woman really, really well. I had an interview with her where she played Cinderella in Cinderella's Curse. And I said then she just has this look in her eyes. When she plays the crazy woman, the eyes just, they're so good. She plays that so well. And her demeanor. And she's the one who plays Olive Oil. I'm pretty sure I just said that. And she does a really, really good job of complimenting Popeye. So I enjoyed that team up. But then we have the counselors who make all of the classic horror movie mistakes. And you're yelling at the screen because you know they're making these mistakes, and you're like, why? Why are we doing this? You don't, why? Things are happening and you're just kicking yourself. Like, you're just stand there and scream. Stand up in there and just look at him and scream, and don't run away. Don't grab a weapon. Just do all the things that you shouldn't do. But I guess that's kind of part of making a fun horror movie too. Why break the horror rules? But then there's a lot of things in this movie that I'm going, why is all this happening and no one is hearing it? Like, all these kids are at this cabin in the middle of the night. It's silent in the middle of the woods. So if one starts screaming bloody murder, why does no one else hear them? Like, all this is going on, and like, where has anybody seen so-and-so? No, I don't know. Where are they? I don't know. Just stop talking and listen for a second. You'll hear them screaming. I mean, that's just kind of one of the things that drives me nuts. But it's part of the fun, I guess. It's meant to be campy and goofy and fun. And that's what this movie is. Is it going to get a high rating online? Probably not. I'm pretty sure IMDb has it at 2.9 out of 10. I give it a 3.5 or a 4. It was a fun movie. I liked it. It was good. Was it flawed? Of course. Could it use more refinement? Probably, but it wasn't really needed. It was interesting. it's about what you expect from a movie. If you go into this expecting a lot, you're going to be disappointed. If you go in here knowing it's a B-rated movie, it's going to have that lack of refinement. You're going to have actors doing things that's going to make you want to rip your hair out, if I had any. And there's going to be some, we'll say some acting refinement needed, although still decent. This is going to be an okay movie for you. It'll be a guilty pleasure movie. But again, if we're going to sit here and compare it to other movies from ITN Studios, it's not as good as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I would say it's about on par with Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. It's definitely better than the original Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So it fits in that niche, that group. If you've seen it, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of Popeyes Revenge. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out, and I will see you at the concession stands.